Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my player ratings for Manchester United's 1-1 draw against Southampton at Old Trafford. So I'll start with David De Gea. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. He made some very good saves today to deny Stuart Armstrong. He made a good save to deny Romain Perraud, and he also denied Armando Broja. What a season De Gea is enduring. He's now back to his best. Not so long ago, he got named Premier League's Player of the Month for January. He became the first goalkeeper to win the award in 6 years. Moving on to Diego Dalot, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I thought he had a pretty decent game. He made some good runs, made some nice passes, got in some good positions, but he was caught out of position for Southampton's equaliser, and his crossing was quite poor. Dalot, though, has been impressive under Rangnick. He's our first choice right back under Rangnick. Dalot could leave Manchester United in the summer. He's been subjected to transfer speculation before. Don't forget, last season he had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. Man United got Dalot from Porto a few years ago. We paid £19 million for him. His contract at Man United expires next year. Moving on to Rafael Varan, he's going to get a 5 out of 10. Don't think he was that good today. And I'm shocked really, because Varan played well against Burnley at Turf Moor. He played very well in the cup game against Middlesbrough. He also played well against West Ham before the international break, and he did very well in the 3-1 win against Brentford. Moving on to Harry Maguire, I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. Another poor performance by him. Lacked that composure, was caught out of position quite a few times. No, Maguire is not good enough, and Manchester United need to sell him in the summer. Harry Maguire is Manchester United's worst ever signing. And Manchester United fans have been demanding for the captaincy to be taken off Maguire. Needs to be taken off him because he's not a leader. Manchester United overpaid for Maguire. We paid £80 million for him. You know, Leicester must have been laughing. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he's the second most expensive signing at the club. Moving on to Luke Shaw, he's going to get a 6 out of 10. I thought Luke Shaw combined well with Jaden Sancho in the first half, and he got forward well, but Shaw weren't too good in the second half. Shaw's played the last few games because Telles has not been available, but I think Telles has now recovered from COVID. Moving on to Paul Pogba, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. He enjoyed a very good game today. I thought his movement was good, his range of passing was good, his work rate was good, and he had a goal disallowed in the game. Pogba has done well since he's come back. You know, he also played well against Burnley last Tuesday. He scored in that game. That was his first goal of the season, and that was his first Premier League appearance since October, because don't forget, Pogba was out with injury for a while at one point. He's endured a few injuries since he re-signed for the club, so you can say he's injury prone. Pogba did play well against Middlesbrough in the Cup. That was obviously his return from injury. There's a very good chance Pogba will leave Man United in the summer. He's out of contract at Man United in the summer. But a few weeks ago, it said that Pogba is willing to stay at Man United as long as Ralf Rangnick is the manager for next season, because Pogba has been impressed by Ralf Rangnick since his arrival, and it did mention at that time he would be open to signing a new contract. By the way, I think Pogba got booked in the game today. Scott McTominay, he's going to get a 4 out of 10. Another poor performance by him. Lost the possession too many times. He's been very poor in his last few games. But earlier on in the season, I did mention that McTominay has actually been one of our best performers under Rangnick. He's not good enough to represent the club, McTominay. Moving on to Bruno Fernandes, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought he played well again today. I thought his passing was good. He got in some good position. His vision was good again. His work rate was very good. You know, Fernandes is in form at the moment. Fernandes played well against Burnley at Turf Moor last Tuesday. Don't forget Varan's disallowed goal came from the set piece from Bruno Fernandes. He also played well in the game against Middlesbrough in the Cup. He had chances in that game. The best chance he had is when he hit the post. I don't know how he didn't score that, because technically it was an open net. And before the break, Fernandes played well in the games against Brentford away and Aston Villa away in the league. Moving on to Marcus Rashford, he's going to get a 6 out of 10. Rashford did well in the first half today, but he weren't too good in the second half. You know, he faded away in that second half. Rashford got the assist for Jaden Sancho's goal. It was a lovely ball by Marcus Rashford to find Jaden Sancho. You know, Rashford does look a better player though. He's been in form recently. Rashford played quite well against Burnley last Tuesday. You know, he had a chance in that game early on. He also got into good positions, made some good runs in behind, but against Burnley's decision making was poor at times. Against Middlesbrough in the Cup, Rashford had some chances. He also had a goal disallowed for offside. He did well against West Ham before the international break. You know, he scored the winner in that game, came off the bench. You know, he also came off the bench and scored against Brentford. Reflecting on that, that ended his 3-month goal drought. But a lot of Manchester United fans, including me, have been saying that Rashford has not been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. He missed the first 2 months of the season with that shoulder problem, and earlier on in the season he had a minor leg injury. Moving on to Jaden Sancho, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Another good performance by him today. Every time he got the ball, he looked dangerous. Sancho also made some very good runs and he got in some good positions. He scored Manchester United's goal today. It was a tap-in. Sancho could have had another goal in the game because he had a good chance from close range, produced a good save from the Southampton goalkeeper. But yeah, Sancho is in form at the moment. I was very impressed with him against Burnley last Tuesday night. I was impressed with him against Middlesbrough in the Cup. He scored in that game, and reflecting on that, that was Sancho's first Old Trafford goal, and it was on his FA Cup debut. Sancho could have had another goal against Middlesbrough, because don't forget he did hit the crossbar in the first 90 seconds. And there's other games Sancho's played well in. I thought he played well against Burnley at Old Trafford in the final game of last year, but unfortunately had been denied a goal. And he played well in the games against Chelsea and Villarreal away last year, because he scored in both of them games. Sancho's still done nowhere near as well as a lot of United fans expected of him, but it does take some players time to settle in, and now it looks as though he's starting to settle in, which is good. Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. He did look a bit better today. Ronaldo had a good early chance in the game. He rounded the Southampton goalkeeper. He struck the ball. Romain Perraud cleared it. And Ronaldo also had a disallowed goal in the game. Ronaldo has now gone 6 games without scoring, so he's not in form at the moment. He did not start against Burnley last Tuesday night, and I was shocked in that aspect, because I thought he would have started that game. Ronaldo was unhappy that he did not start against Burnley. Cavani started ahead of Ronaldo against Burnley. Recent reports have said that Ronaldo could quit Manchester United in the summer, halfway through his 2-year deal. Ronaldo's told his friends he's starting to feel his age. Don't forget, Ronaldo is planning for showdown talks with his agent about his Manchester United future. So Ronaldo's future is in doubt. Not so long ago, it said that Man United consider swapping Cristiano Ronaldo for PSG boss Mauricio Pochettino, and over 3 weeks ago now, was it, Ronaldo came out and gave an interview, didn't he? And in the interview he was critical of the youngsters, and he was demanding more from Manchester United. Or should I say demanding more from the youngsters. And at that point, Ronaldo was backing Ralph Rangnick to do a good job at Man United. He said, I'm not at Man United to compete for 6th or 7th. He said, finishing below 3rd is unacceptable. Ronaldo is the best player in the world overall. We brought substitutions on in the game today. We brought just 2 players on. Anthony Elanga came on. I'll just give him a 6 out of 10. I like Elanga. He's done really well since he got into our first team squad. Don't forget, he missed a decisive penalty against Middlesbrough in the Cup. And reflecting on his penalty miss, he got racially abused on social media, and I disagreed with that. And Lingard also came on in the game, and I'll just give him a 6 out of 10. So that is your player ratings for Manchester United's 1-1 draw against Southampton. It wasn't a good enough performance today by Manchester United, like I mentioned on my match reaction. And now I'd say the top 4 is officially over for Manchester United. I said we had to win today to keep our top 4 hopes alive. By the way, we've had 3 1-1 draws in a row now. Drew today 1-1, drew with Burnley last Tuesday 1-1, and drew with Middlesbrough in the Cup 1-1. Well, it was 1-1 after extra time. But I thought today's game, it was end-to-end. Man United had the chances. Southampton also had their chances as well. Southampton's equaliser was good. Southampton's equaliser came from Che Adams. Che Adams side-footed it and it went in off the post. This fixture between Man United and Southampton at Old Trafford last season was 9-0 to Manchester United, and that was Manchester United's biggest win since the 9-0 win against Ipswich back in 1995. It was a 1-1 draw between Man United and Southampton at St Mary's earlier on this season. Southampton, do remain 10th in the Premier League. Not so long ago they did beat Tottenham 3-2. They were missing some players today. There was no Nathan Tella, he's out with injury. There was no Nathan Redmond, he's out with injury. Nathan Redmond is probably one of the best players Southampton have got. Alex McCarthy was also missing with injury. He's one of Southampton's goalkeepers. Let me put into the equation as well, Southampton have lost a lot of good players, like I mentioned on my preview and that for the game. They lost Vestergaard to Leicester. They lost Danny Ings to Aston Villa. Charlie Austin left Southampton quite a few years ago. They lost Højbjerg to Tottenham. Cedric Soares left Southampton. He went to Arsenal from Southampton. Southampton did have Mina Mimo last season on loan, but he's now back at Liverpool. There's also other players they've lost as well. They lost Klein, Lovren, Lallana, Van Dijk, Mane. Klein, Lovren, Van Dijk, Lallana and Mane all went to Liverpool from Southampton. So Liverpool have done very good transfer business with Southampton before. And Southampton also lost Luke Shaw to us, but that was around 8 years ago now. Obviously today Shaw was reuniting with Southampton because he played. Southampton have got a very good coach in Ralph Hasenhüttl. I've got a lot of respect for him. He's been Southampton's manager for over 3 years. Southampton appointed him in back in December 2018. He's under contract with Southampton till 2024. Ralph Hasenhüttl has already said that he will consider retiring when his contract expires at Southampton. I'll tell you when Southampton were very consistent, when they had Mauricio Pochettino. Pochettino did guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. Pochettino only enjoyed a short managerial tenure when he was at Southampton. As for us, we only missed a few players today. Obviously there was no Fred because he's out with COVID. Well, Fred's not good enough anyway. I don't rate him, never have rated him. There was no Cavani today because I think Cavani's picked up an injury, or is he out due to personal reasons. Tellez didn't play today either. Eric Bailly's still injured, but Bailly doesn't get in the team anyway. He'll leave Man United in the summer, will Bailly. And Chong's injured. And that's about it really. And Obviously, you know the news regarding Mason Greenwood. The other week, Mason Greenwood was dropped by Nike after his rape allegation. Greenwood is banned from England and Man United, so he can't train or play any matches. The other week, Greenwood was released on bail after his arrest. Greenwood's been arrested twice, hasn't he, already, on suspicion of sexual assault, making threats to kill, rape and assault. Disgraceful what Greenwood has done, and his career at Manchester United is officially over, and his England career is also officially over as well. You know, Greenwood is only the age of 20. He joined Manchester United's academy at the age of 6. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019, and since then he went on to make 129 appearances. He scored over 30 goals. Last season, Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. So there you go. So Manchester United's next game is Brighton on Tuesday, the 15th of February. It is at Old Trafford. You know, that is a rearranged game, because Man United were supposed to be playing Brighton on the 18th of December last year, but got postponed due to COVID. And the preview for that game will be coming up tomorrow at some point. After Brighton, Manchester United do play Leeds. So games are coming up thick and fast. Ralf Rangnick has been warned that he may not get the consultancy role. Well, Rangnick is Man United's interim manager till the end of the season, and it did initially say that he is expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Rangnick's been Man United's interim manager now for over 2 months. He's managed, 12 games now, or is it 13 games in all competitions. And he's lost 2 games so far. I can assure Man United will not offer Rangnick the job on a permanent basis. There's been good performances under Rangnick, but there's been poor performances as well. But like I've said, you know, he's blameless, Rangnick, for the poor performances. The players have to take responsibility for the poor performances. You know, like I've already said, I think Rangnick's a good coach, and I've got a lot of respect for him. He's a German coach, and most German coaches are good coaches. And don't forget, you know, a long time ago, was it now, you know, Rangnick taught Jurgen Klopp, and Jurgen Klopp is a very good manager now at Liverpool. You know, nothing has changed under Rangnick to what we saw under Solskjaer. So it's the players that are the problem. You know, prior to this game today against Southampton, it said Man United players were unhappy with Rangnick's training, and they gave a nickname to Chris Armas. Obviously, Chris Armas is our assistant coach. Before Man United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. He's enjoyed 1 transfer window so far as Man United's interim manager. And Man United enjoyed a very poor January transfer window, because last month we didn't make any signings. Man United wanted to sign a midfielder, because when Rangnick first came in, he identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. We should have let Lingard and Ensign leave last month, but they didn't leave because we blocked their exits. We had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of last month. We did let around 8 players leave last month though. Rangnick didn't get backed last month, and he initially got promised that he was going to get backed. I've got to give credit to Rangnick as well, because he's made changes since he's come in. You know, earlier on this season he brought Ewan Sharp in as an assistant coach and analyst. He also recommended Chris Armas in as an assistant coach, and he recommended Saz Chalens in as a sports psychologist. So, there you go. Manchester United's next permanent manager will either be Mauricio Pochettino or Eric Ten Hag. Now, obviously, you already know the news on Pochettino. Prior to the game today, obviously there was reports coming out saying that Pochettino responded to Manchester United's interest, and Pochettino insists he's still 200% focused on PSG, despite links to Man United. Now, not so long ago it said Man United players want Mauricio Pochettino as their next manager. And reports from France said earlier on this season that Pochettino could be sacked by March. You know, Pochettino's job could hinge on PSG getting to the next round of the Champions League. PSG play Real Madrid in the last 16 of the Champions League. Earlier on this season as well, Pochettino reportedly told his friends he will be leaving PSG in the summer. PSG are trying to get Zidane to replace Pochettino. There's a lot of United fans though that would like to see Eric Ten Hag get recommended in. Well, Rangnick prefers Eric Ten Hag to Mauricio Pochettino. Prior to the game today as well, it said Man United added Luis Enrique to their managerial short list. You know, Man United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. 4 permanent managers have gone since Ferguson, with sacked Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, and last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So there you go. And in the summer of this year, I'm expecting Manchester United to make some signings. But on the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club in the summer. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.